I was delighted to be joined with John Pepin to talk about current trends in philanthropy, and John's got enormous experience in this area. So John, thank you for your Global 20 interview. We covered a lot of issues. I was very pleased that we looked at current trends and also definitions. Maybe you'd like to say a few words of what we explored during the interview on those two themes.
Well, I guess in terms of trends, the whole role of Gen Z, millennials, and women of wealth is really important in shifting the emphasis to more giving, because they see their wealth as something they want to do good with. So whether that's philanthropy, impact investing, or whatever. So that kind of thing is really important. The level of growth, I think, in giving, especially around the pandemic and stuff, has been really, I think, quite significant. So there's been some really positive things. There's still a long way to go. I shared some statistics about that. So there's a long way to go, but I think we're getting there slowly. Sorry, go ahead.
And you talked about the definitions and how important they're. Now, it's fascinating, the different spectrums of how the definitions work across from pure philanthropy right across. Maybe you could mention some of the key words that we discussed so that people can listen and hear more about how these definitions are very important.
I've got to start with a basic thing, understanding who the client is. And if charities understand who the client is from a donor's perspective, then I think we'll get more giving, and then charities can work more closely with the advisors to wealthy people. There's a big issue around jargon and the use of jargon. People are using the same terms but having different meanings. So whether it's professional advisors talking to clients or vice versa, or whatever, there's a problem. So we've outlined a spectrum of capital that goes from philanthropy, venture philanthropy, social investment, impact, ESG investment, and traditional investment. And we talk a bit about those kinds of things. And so we cover that.
In terms of, patterns of giving and the next generation, I think we had a good chat about that. And in summary, we kind of felt that we're optimistic about the future, but there's a lot more that needs to be done in terms of training, development, and making sure that we can develop the whole sector. I think there's the themes that we touched on, and how important that was, so that we had good advisors and good advice. And clarity around that.
And the advisors, just not professional advisors who are private banks or tax, legal, wealth managers, but they're also people like you and me and philanthropy advisors, but also fundraisers should be philanthropy advisors supporting their clients in their donor journey. So I think there's some real interesting things. I think there's issues around impact, measuring impact. There's a lot of people use the term sustainability, but if you think about that, it's like everything from environment, societal, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a real mixture of that. Impact investing for me is really deliberate. You're deliberately trying to bring change through your investments. And there's issues around whether the returns are the same as normal, and in some instances they seem to be. So in others, people question it. So it's going to be an interesting approach. Certainly young people want to do more impact investing, do want to do more good with their money, want to do philanthropy as well. And then there's, I think, shifting in the different approaches to philanthropy that are taking place. So that you have a growth of venture philanthropy, which has to do with giving, no financial return in many cases, but also achieving impact and bringing expertise into an organization. You have transformative philanthropy, which I think deals with the power imbalance between funders and people receiving the funds. And you have, and I think that's an issue. There's also other issues related to gender equity, racial equity, and stuff like that, which are bubbling up. And you have entrepreneurial philanthropy. So you had Dame Stephanie Shirley on, and basically her approach is taking her entrepreneurial skills and innovating new approaches to the causes that she feels strongly about, and acting as a venture philanthropist. So it's a combination of the two.
And we obviously were honoured to have Dame Stephanie Shirley on one of our Global 20s. So hopefully you will have a chance, and our viewers will have a chance to have a look at that as well. as another insight. But John, thank you very much today for talking through and unpacking these very complex issues. I think it's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you, and certainly I know now a lot more about all the complexities and nuances of the business. And thank you for sharing with us. Hopefully, our viewers are of the same view. So thank you very much.
I think you're being very kind. So thank you.